Okay, let's first take a look at the formula for perimeter. Think about how would you find the perimeter of our classroom? Our classroom is a rectangle. Well, whenever you find the perimeter of any shape, all you have to do is add up the lengths of all the sides. And a rectangle is made up of two lengths and two widths. So if you take two lengths and add them to two widths, you will get the perimeter of a rectangle. The formula looks like this. Perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times W. Now, let's take a look at that formula and let's see if we can solve some problems involving it. Be sure that you have this formula written in your notes. We're asked, find the perimeter of a rectangular tabletop with a length of 14.5 inches and a width of 8.5 inches. Let's take a look at what we're being asked to find. The perimeter. So this is the variable that we are looking for, P. Well, it's always good to start off with the formula that will help you with this situation, and that's the perimeter formula. So P equals 2 times length plus 2 times W. I am then going to put a box around the variable in which we'll be solving for, and that's the P. Then all I need to do is replace or substitute the L and the W in the equation with the values of L and W. So the length is 14.5. I'm going to be replacing the L with 14.5, and the width is 8.5. I'm going to be replacing the W with 8.5. So remember, this is multiply, 2 times length and 2 times width. So 2 times the length, which is 14.5, plus 2 times the width, which is 8.5, equals perimeter. Again, the perimeter, we're going to put it in that box. That's the variable we're solving for. And so all I have to do is simplify this expression over here. We see multiply and add. We're going to do multiplication first because when we have different operations, we want to definitely use the order of operations. So I have two groups of 14.5. You could just double that in your head if you know how to do that. And then we have two groups of 8.5. You could double that as well, and that's 17 equals perimeter. Now all I have to do is add the 29 and 17. So if I have 17 in the calculator, I'm just going to write plus 29. And I have a perimeter of 46. Now for the label, go ahead and look back in the problem. You'll see inches and inches. So this is going to be perimeter is 46 inches of the rectangular tabletop. Let's take a look at that formula again, but in this case, we're going to be solving for a different variable. So here it says the width of the table is 56 inches and the perimeter is 240 inches. What is the length? We can see this is a rectangular table that they're talking about, and we're asked what is the length. So I'm going to go back up into the formula, and the length is the variable that we're being asked to solve for. So it's always good practice to start off with writing the formula that's going to help you solve the problem. So I'm writing the formula, and then I'm going to put a box around the variable that I'm solving for. That's my unknown variable. So then what I'm going to do is substitute the other variables. I'm going to plug in P for the perimeter, plug in the 240, that tells me that's perimeter, and then the 56 inches, that's the width. So 56 is just going to be substituted right in here for W. All right, let's do that. Perimeter is 240, so I'm just going to replace the P with the 240. 2L plus 2, and this is multiply, and the width here is 56. Again, the L is the variable I'm solving for, so I'm going to put that into a box. Now I'm going to take a look at this, and I see that the 2 is going to be my closest friends, right? Because it's attached to the variable. But then over here, I have 2 times 56. I could definitely simplify that and turn that into a number. So I can use my calculator, and I'm just going to double the 56, and that's 112. So I'm going to rewrite this and simplify the 2 times 56 and make it 112 so that it looks a little bit easier to solve. Okay, now I have just a two-step equation. I want to solve for the length, so I'm going to undo the plus 112 with subtraction. So taking the calculator, 240 minus 112 gives me 128 on this side. And then over here, I'm going to bring down 2L. Then to undo the 2 that's being multiplied to the L, the length, I'm just going to simply divide, which is the inverse operation. And so I'm going to take that 128 in the calculator, hit divide by 2, and I get 64. So the length equals 64. So I take a look at the problem. I see inches is the label that we're using. the length is 64 inches. So here I was able to solve for a different unknown variable. As in the other one I solved for perimeter, here I was solving for length.